activities. Okay, let's start. Okay, so today we're gonna edit some parts in our last week exercise, the form that we did. Uh, I wish everyone to open up in your text editors. Okay, so before we do activity, let me teach some of the things that you need to do in your lab form, well, the last week's form. Okay, so before I start, in class, have you learned about CSS? Okay, so this week's lab session, most of it is going to be HTML, but I'm also going to teach you some of the styling or the CSS part of how to make any form or any content to have some stylization. So first, like here, text. So text, we use paragraph, but in formatting we have so many different kinds of methods on or styles to write a basic text. So, for example, like bold, italic, marking, delete, insert, and small. And then next is date formatting. Okay, so last week we did the date data input where we select a date. But here now we can actually put a restriction, minimum and maximum restriction. So if you look at the first one here, here we put date max. So remember that when we put for input type, we always have to put what kind of type it is. So this is a date. We have to give an ID and a name. And then max value is the date that we want to set. So you cannot enter a date before 1980. So this is the max date here is the limit stop. So same thing as the bottom for minimum is where we just put a minimum value. So here is 2000, 1st of January. All right. Okay, so links. So when you want to create a link, let's say like the most common link you can find is in your social media login page where you always have the forget password. You can see that it is highlighted in a different color and there's an underline score. Okay, this indicates that this is a link. So when you want to write a link, you always have to write an A, which is a the word that you want to highlight, and then you always have to put href, which is also means reference. So you can see here, I put in a reference. In this reference, we can see that also we have target blank. All right. So when we click on the word visit w3school.com, we will refer to this link. but a target. So a target is basically like the name implies, where do you want the page to go? So when we say blank, blank means opening a new tab. So when we click, we will open a new tab in your browser to go to the website. If you remove target, if you remove this part in the A tag, then the page will go to the link, and then it will just stay in that page. It will just change the web page rather than change to a new tab. So next is text. So this is a placeholder. Okay. So let's go back to the reference of your social media login page. So you see your username and password. You can see that in that text field, there is a faint color, like a faint text saying username, password. So this is what we call a placeholder. So a placeholder is a short hint that describes an expected value of an input field. And then in the end of it, you can see there's required. So required is specifies that an input must be filled out before submitting the form. So you can use this for your last week's lab form. So for the first task, I want you to edit. So this is the two addition I want you to add in your log registration form from last week's exercise. All right. You can download the slides and you can refer to the task and try to do this too. Okay, so you can see like in this second last row assignment, here I have a link text. I also have the deletion and assertion. And then here I have the date limitation. And for the date limitation, I put the limit. So put the date limitation not after 13 November. So everybody finish? Can someone volunteer to show your screen? Okay, can someone show their work? No one? Okay, how many of you actually succeeded doing it?
If no one, I can share my screen.
Alright, sure.
So this is my form.
Alright.
So
Where's
for the
the deletion?
yeah, sorry.
The deletion. The delete text.
The delete text button.
No. Like the example I show, the due date is actually a slash, and then a new text is appeared next to it.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see. Because I put it in the label text. Okay, I will correct it. Yeah, that's for me.
Like that, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and the date. What's the maximum date?
I put it is 2020 December. So, I write it over here. Okay, am I sure? I write it over here, the next one. Do I need to have a minimum too?
No need, just a maximum.
Yeah. So I write over here.
Alright. Okay, good. Alright,
Okay.
thank you for sharing. Anybody else wants to share? Siti Cairo Nisa binti Rashid. Can you share me your screen, please? Okay, what about Hanis Umaira? Can you please share your screen and show us your work? Okay.
Yep.
Can I see your code?
My code like this.
Okay, show me your text editor.
Text editor, this one.
No, not the website. The page where you write the code.
This right.
No, no, the other one, the one you type. Where you type the code.
This.
This is the product. I want
Yeah.
to see the code, the program you wrote.
Program.
Yeah. You use Notepad++, right?
Yes.
Yeah, show me that. I want to see your work.
How to open?
Okay. Show me the last. Where's the part that you edited?
This one. Not yet not really understand the code.
Okay. Which one? Which part do you don't understand?
Like Chiang Rubin do, he have the maximum date, right?
Maximum date. Okay. The maximum date. Is like the example from the slides I showed you. You can copy paste the code there.
Oh, okay.
I already
I.
explained in slides everything.
Oh, okay, okay.
Right. Thank you.
All right.
Carmen Su, can you share your screen, please?
This is the output.
Okay, can you see the web page, please?
Is it like the place where I type my code?
Okay, this is what we call your text editor. Yes, so this is where you write your code, and the product is your HTML file.
Here. Can you see?
Yes, I can.
Wait, I don't know how to make like this part. The assignment is still like on the same line here.
Okay, that is depending on your width of your table.
Okay.
Yeah, you can adjust that. Hold on. All right, thank you for showing. Ainur Asratul Bakis. Can you show your work, please? Beverly, can you share your screen, please?
Sorry, sir. I'm still trying.
All right. Ainur Shafinas, can you share your screen, please?
Sir, I'm still trying to do so.
Excuse me? Okay, okay, let's move on to the next task. We are lacking time. So I hope everyone is able to do for the first task. It's quite simple, quite straightforward. The example codes are in the slides. You can use it and edit to yourself for yourself. Okay, so now let's move on to the next topic, which is called lists. So there are three different kind of lists you can see in this, on the screen. So we got unordered, ordered, and description. So at the second row, you can see the example. So unordered, you can see that it has bullet points, and ordered has numbers. And description, you can see that for each point there is another sub point. So for ordered in the last row, you can see that in ordered, let me add this for a while. So unordered list starts with a UL tag. So this is very straightforward. So for list tag, you can either use a UL for unordered, OL for ordered, or DLS description list. So unordered and ordered are basically the same. But description, you need to add DT and DD. So DT is a tag defines the term, the name, and DD means describe each of the name. So these are three different kinds of list. Okay. Formulas. We want mathematics on an HTML document. Okay. So there is no ready-made library or program or default program that enables you to write a mathematical formula. So we use MathJax. So MathJax is an API, which is called an application programming interface, that allow users to write mathematical formulas or equation in HTML code. So MathJax is like an external library. When you want to use an external library, usually it's through internet. So you can see in the first row, this code, the script, okay, this script is used to call the library. So when you put this in your head tag, you're able to use the MathJax API. And because of this, you are able to use mathematical formula. So for example here, so this is how you write a mathematical formula by using MathJax. You always start opening and closing a dollar sign, and then in between you can see the x equal to, you use the curly bracket, my /pm. Okay, so /pm means plus minus, and sqrt means square root. And within the curly bracket again, you can see b upper arrow, meaning that this is a power of minus 4ac. And then the next command is /over2a. Okay, so what you need to learn about this is that you need to know the short commands pm, sqrt, and over. So I give the link below. You can look at the list, and you can use it when you want to use mathematical formula. Okay. Next is caption. Okay, so last week we did table, and just now what you added just now was a table as well, but you want to add a caption. So in like this example here, you just put in caption. So this will put a caption on your table. So it's basically like a title for your table. So this is very straightforward. Okay. Now let's look back at a little bit of styling. Okay, so where you want to write a text and you want it to align to a position, right? You always use text align term and then equals to either center, left, right, or auto. For image, however, is different. You cannot use text align. You have to use display block. Display block allows the image to move around. So when you put margin left and margin right as auto, it will center the image in the middle of the page. Same goes to table. We don't need the display block. We just use margin left and right to align the table. Okay, so everybody can follow. All right, so this is your second task. From the from this previous slide just now, I want you to display a nested list of types of coffee, tea, and fizzy drinks. I want you to display this formula in HTML code. I want you to display a 4x4 table with a heading, row, and column, and showing a caption on the title of the table. I will show you an example. Okay, so this is example that I want you to follow. All right, I will give you about 20 minutes, and then we will see all your work. All right. For the image, you can take it from the slides. The formula image. All right. Is anybody completed, or is the math formula still complicated? So Beverly, so you have problem with the math formula? The log formula is just log or lg, either those two. Push B below is an underscore. Okay, do those who have completed the task, can you please show? Anyone wants to show their work? No one wants to show?
Sorry, can you show the third question display again? Okay, thank you.
Okay, Esther, have you completed your work? Mark Wong, G. Kit, have you completed? Nur Hidayati Miza, please share your screen, please. Nurin Jasalina, have you completed? Nurul Shahira, have you completed your work? Suchi Ilya, have you completed your work? Okay. Yeah, Mei Fang, have you completed?
Haven't, halfway.
Halfway. Okay. Okay, so we are running out of time. We got about 45 minutes left. Okay, so I will show you the code on how to do it. Hopefully you can understand. Alright, so the nested list is very straightforward. So what we do is we do the description list, and then the coffee, tea, and fizzy drinks are our name terms. So we put DT. Since I then we put black and latte and everything else as a li. So it is the name of the name of the term. For the formula is just this one small line. And then for the table, since it says that display a 4x4 table with a heading row and column, so you can see that in the first row everything is a header, but the following row you can see only in the first cell I put it as a header, so that you can see the alignment of the first row and the first column are all headers, and everything else is uh, data, normal data. All right. Okay. So now let's do this image. Okay. So image, when you want to display an image, there's two kinds. Either you can upload an image from your local device, which is your laptop, where you save the image and you just give the path, or you can redirect an image from a different website to your page. So for example, here you can see that in image we put src. So this is like source. So in source we put this image. Okay, so this is an example of linking from a internet source. So you can see that here you have the full URL of the image and as well the name of the image. Later on, we put alt, which is an alternate text. So for example, if the image does not pop up, the user can still see what image is presented. So this image is called w3school.com. So when the image doesn't pop out, this text will pop out. And then we have this style. So this is a style where we put the width and height. Remember that in width and height, you can either put percentage or px or px. All right. Next, we have div tag. Okay, so div tag is you can use it mostly in forms. If you want to create a proper proportionate size form, we use a div tag. So here in a div tag, you can see here. So div class my div, and you can see that there's header and a paragraph. So what is a div? What is a div tag? So a div tag defines a division or a section in a HTML document, and it's used as a container for HTML elements, which is then styled with CSS, and it's easily styled by using class or ID attributes. Okay, so imagine like this. Within you take a big Manila card. Okay, so your big Manila card, that is your HTML page, your document. So a div is you take an A4 paper, you cut to whatever size, and you paste it on the Manila card. So that A4 paper you just cut out just now, that is your div, that is your container. So that is in terms of image wise. So when the third point is easily styled by using class or ID attribute. So this is your class, my div. So when in your style tag, remember here is where we style it. So we put border, background color, or text alignment, and such on. Okay. Next, we have buttons. Okay, so far the buttons is submit and reset. That's already by default because those are default buttons you can write. But if you customize button, right? So here is an example. We have a button tag, and the button tag says "click me." And here you remember that when you want to create a button tag, you must write type button. If you do not write type button, the tag will not function properly. And then you can see that the button can put text like whatever text you want. And remember that it's not possible with a button created with an input element. Next is the on click. Okay, so on click element here, this will give an event. So when you say event, is usually on what kind of action that you want the button to perform. So for example here in the tag example code here, on click equals alert hello world. So the alert term means that it will pop up a small window in your browser that says hello world. But other examples you can find online, like this one, location. Okay, on click location is referring to where do you want this click event to go. So location will give a direction for the click for the button to go. And for example, if you want to go from this page to the next page, you use this example. Okay, so for your final task, I want you to create a login page. Right, I will show you on how the example. Okay, so this is a login page, a very simple, straightforward login page. So here is the image. We can use any image you can find on the website, but remember that where you want to link an image from the internet for any website, you make sure that it is from the original source. So, for example, if you go to Google Image, you find an image you like, make sure that you go to the web page that the image that redirects you, and you copy the image address, and then you paste it on the uh, source src term, the tag there. Then username and password, same thing, is your simple input type data. And remember the enter username and enter password is your placeholder we just learned just now. And then here login, you can see that it is a login is a button that you can customize, and then you can also give an event for you to move. So another example here, you can see at the bottom here, you can sign out and forgot password. Here's just an example. So one example like sign up. So sign up will redirect you back to the registration form that you did previously. Here, when you write back on, for example, in the slides, the on-click location, here, the href, this space, the hashtag space is where is the name of the HTML file that you want to redirect. And make sure that this file and the file that you want to redirect are in the same folder or within the same space. Okay. I'll give you 25 minutes to do this. Then we will discuss. All right. All right. Anybody completed the task? Is there any problems that you're facing?
Yes, the button. I cannot make it to be like whole page, and then I don't know how to change the color.
Which button?
The login button and the sign out button. I cannot change the color.
You cannot change the color. All right. Can you show me your code?
Maybe I didn't use the correct term or something.
Okay, your colors. Okay, let's see your styling.
Wait. This is the one that I did.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
So the only part is missing is the CSS, the
I think so.
styling. All right.
Yeah, my
Okay.
style I only write like this. Can you
All right.
see?
Yes. Yes. All right.
And then
Remember.
also the image, it cannot go to the center. I don't know. I tried like margin center auto, but I think this is invalid lah.
Invalid. Okay. So
I also
for
tried
image,
text
which
align
one?
center.
Text.
Yeah, I
Text
tried
align.
text align center in the body, the here, like text align. But I guess it's not text, so it cannot align to center.
No. The reason why it's not popping up because when you want to style, you have to use the style term. Do you remember?
I write like style like this.
Yeah. You see, there's a popping. Oh yeah. So you want the text align, it's already appear. So it's not in a proper format.
Okay. So this one is not the one. Oh, okay. Yeah, it can. Okay. But still, the input for, I mean, the input text, I cannot adjust the width.
Okay. So that for that you have to adjust the text input, right? So you see that you have type equal to text, right? And you got
Yes.
username, password.
Or do I use text area?
No, just text. And for
Oh,
password is type equal password. It's not text. It's password.
okay.
Yes. Okay. So when you want to style this, you can you can write style and then you can put the width that you want.
So inside input, is it?
Yeah, so you can insert input if you want to, but remember that it's much easier if you style everything in the style tag. That way, you want to adjust anything, it's easier, and your code will not look so clustered.
Okay. So how to do that, and also how to change the button color?
All right.
Use it in the style also?
Yes, it's not theme color.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, so messy.
So okay. Can you close your share screen? I will show you the example code.
Okay.
Okay. So for example, you can see the body here. So what we have is our first div container, which is the image. This is easier to handle. If you put everything in one div, it's okay. But whatever adjustment you do for that div container, everything will be affected. So it's better if you do a container for each section, which is easier to adjust later on. So for image, it's very straightforward. We do a div and we put a class of image container, and then we just put a link, the URL of the image. Next, we have our div container, our big div container for the input text and the buttons. So in this big part, we have our input type text for username and input type password for our password. And then at the bottom here, we have a button, which is a submit button. Okay, remember that a type submit and a type button is two different things. A submit is mostly used in a form to submit all information that is written within the container and move it forward. So we use a login. Next, we have the next container is we have the sign up button and the forget password link. So in here, remember that we have the button for on click event, and this one is a sign up. So we link up that button to the registration form that you did previously. So we put it on click event, location, the name of the file, your file. And like I said before, make sure that all the files are within one same folder. And then the last one is the forget password is using span. And then here is just a reference to the link, and you just click on the link and move on. Okay, so this is just the body, and let's look at the header. So in the form, I put a border just to make it look nicer. And then I have image. Okay, so since that this is the only image, I don't need to specify which image, so we just put image. Here I put the width and height to 200 to make it perfectly ratio. And then we put a display block margin left and right auto. So this way our image can be at the center. Next is the input text. Since that our input text don't have a ID, so we just put here input type text and input type password. So that it knows which it is referring to. And then we put the width as 100%, we add some padding, some margin to adjust, and we put the inline block, border, and box sizing. So this is just a specified style. You don't need to put the rest. If you just want to make it long, it's up to you. And then the last two is the buttons. So for example, button. So this button tag is referring to the button for login. You can see it's highlighted here. So when you want to change color, it's called background color. The background color is the color of the box, and color is referring to the text. And then we add some padding to make it sit nicely between the text input. We put no borders, we put a cursor as a pointer, and then the width. Cursor pointer is referring to that when you go through the button, you hover it, then it will have a pointer icon. If you want to adjust a little bit more, you can put a hover function. Is that when you hover the cursor on the button, it will be a little bit opaque. And then the last part is the sign up button. Sign up button here, you can see is the ID. The ID is from here. So, and then you put the width, add extra padding, and then you use color. So padding is usually like, unlike margins, padding is more like to adjusting the location within that small area. So imagine if you, for this example, the sign up button, I put padding 10 packs and 18 packs. That is between width and height. So I'm adjusting to the width about 10% off center and 80% off from the top. Right, you can, since you already learned CSS, you maybe be familiar a bit about it, or you can go and search it up and see how does a padding work, or you can play around with it. All right, so this, I hope that everybody understands. Our time is up. I will give you the sample code for you to revise, and if you want to edit anything else, you're free to do it. Okay, before we end the class, is there any questions? Okay, if there's no other further questions, then we will have class dismissed. The one who started the recording,